Incoming transmission.
Picture this. A recording studio somewhere far, far away.
Welcome, Watchers of Illusion, to my Castle of Confusion on the 2nd of July. I'm looking at the final entry of the Mr. Do series on the arcade. This is Mr. Do's Wild Ride. I have absolutely no bloomin' idea what I'm doing, so let's get killed immediately, because that's how I roll. Okay, so very, very different to what we've seen before. Mr. Do, obviously the same character we've always known him as, which is quite nice. So you've got to avoid... looks like you've got to avoid those... what are they? They're on some rollercoaster cars, I suppose. So you've got to avoid those, I think, and try and get to the top right corner without that happening, I guess. I can see this going to be a frustrating episode. Okay, so you can go up the ladders, but you can't go all the way up the ladders. I think that's just so the cars go underneath you. There we go. Oh, and if you climb up and get hit by them, there you go. Game over straight away. So cool at this game, it's unreal. A few facts for you anyway. Mr. Do's Wild Ride, obviously a 1984, third game in the series, and so far it's probably the worst one. It was actually originally called Go-Go Coaster, and Mr. Do was not involved in it whatsoever, so that's quite an interesting fact for you. Also was cloned for the home computers, for the C64 and the Spectrum by Ocean, and it was called Kong Strikes Back. So there you go, a bit of trivia for you, for the old retro brainiacs out there. So there seems to be absolutely no way you can jump or anything like that, so that's a bit strange. Graphically it's alright. Gameplay it's a little bit, I don't know, it's really, really frustrating. Game over again. It's just probably going to be one of those shorter reviews today, folks, but there we go. Not my favourite Mr. Do game, I'm going to have to say. Mr. Do's Castle was probably one of my faves, although the original Mr. Do was very, very good as well. I'm not sure what this obsession with cherries is, though, but oh, so you can follow the track round. So basically you're going to follow the track, pick up the cherries, get to the top of the screen, and you should progress on to the next level. This is really quite confusing, because you don't know which track they're actually going to come down, so that's actually quite frustrating. Oh, you can push a button and run faster, but it doesn't seem to actually do much, and it actually chips away at your bonus score as well. That was me, just lack of concentration. It's quite a confusing screen layout, to be honest with you. It's not really clear where you're supposed to go or what you're meant to do, but yes, this is a rather disappointing outing for Mr. Do. It's strange because this is the second Mr. Do game that's just had Mr. Do inserted into it. It wasn't actually a proper Mr. Do game in the first place. Really quite interesting, some of these things. There we go. See, I can, yeah. So it's confusing, but I might get there. I might actually get there. Yay! There we go. Mr. Do waves his flag as he should do. Sound effects are quite nice as well. You've got this nice little ditty going on in the background, and you know, it's just arcade sounds. But I don't think the series has evolved that much. It's just not as good as Mr. Do's Castle, or like the original Mr. Do. It's a bit of a mess, this one, actually, to be honest. If you've played Mr. Do's Wild Ride, then please let me know what you thought of it, because this is quite well. You see, there's no way I could get away from that. I was just. There you go, game over. You're going to see that screen quite a lot. It's a very frustrating entry into the series. I mean, Mr. Do's Castle was quite hard in places, but this is just insane. Too much going on the screen at any one time, I think, is the problem here. Too much too early. So, yeah, it just ends up being a bit of a frustrating game all in all. Great concept, but not executed very well, unfortunately. So, unfortunately, Mr. Do is going to... be knocked off his pedestal on this review, I'm afraid. But yes, I won't be doing a Mr. Do game again for a while. I know there are some home versions which I'm going to look at eventually. I thought I actually gave me invulnerability. How silly of me. But yeah, I'm going to give Mr. Do a rest for a bit now. This is the final game of the series, so I hope you've enjoyed the Mr. Do adventure series, and I will be cracking on with a brand new review very soon. Sorry about the lack of reviews, by the way, but this heat is absolutely disgraceful. very hard to concentrate. Anyway, you keep it retro, guys, and I'll catch you in the next review. Bye for now!